Why are all my friends mad at me? Every single friend I had unfollowed me overnight, and when I texted our group chat asking what happened, 5 people read it without responding. I called Stella and she sent me straight to voicemail. Then Joey blocked my number and Harper wouldn't answer, and suddenly 10 people had cut me off at the exact same time. The night before at Zoe's apartment, everything had been perfect. We'd laughed at inside jokes and taken photos we'd never post. I called Zoe since it was her party, and maybe something had happened after I left. She answered, but when she heard my voice, she said, "Please don't contact me again," and hung up. I texted asking what I'd done wrong, and she blocked me immediately. My hands were shaking as I tried to figure out what could have possibly happened in the 8 hours since I'd left her apartment. I went through my phone looking for clues about what I might have done. My last photo showed me with Harper and Mia, all smiling with our arms around each other at midnight. By morning, they'd both unfollowed me and removed me from their followers. Something had happened in those few hours while I was sleeping, but I had no idea what. I drove to Stella's apartment because we'd been best friends for 8 years, and she'd at least tell me what was wrong. She answered the door but held it mostly closed, like I might try to force my way in. When I asked what I'd done, she said, "You know what you did," and shut the door in my face. I stood there knocking for 5 minutes, but she never answered again. I tried reaching out to peripheral friends who weren't at the party to see if they knew anything. Clara said she'd heard about what happened, but didn't want to get involved. When I begged her to just tell me, she said it wasn't her place and blocked me too. Everyone knew something except me, and it was making me feel insane. I went through every conversation from the party trying to remember if I'd said something offensive. We'd talked about work drama and dating apps and this show we all watched. I'd made the same dumb jokes I always made, and everyone had laughed. I'd only had 2 drinks over 4 hours, so I wasn't even drunk. I checked social media to see if someone had posted something about me. There was nothing with my name, but all my friends had posted photos from the party with me cropped out or carefully angled to exclude me. In Mia's story, you could see my hand holding a drink, but the rest of me was cut off. They were erasing me from the night. I texted Harper begging for an explanation, and she replied with just, "Check your email." I went through every email account I had, but found nothing unusual. Just work stuff and promotional emails, and nothing that would explain why 10 people simultaneously decided to hate me. When I told her there was nothing, she said, "Then you deleted it," and blocked me. I tried to think if someone could have spread a rumor about me, but what could be so bad that everyone would believe it without even asking my side? These were people who knew everything about me, including actually terrible things I'd done, and they'd never judged me before. This felt different and worse. I even called my ex thinking maybe he'd said something to them, but he was as confused as me. He said Zoe had called him asking weird questions about our relationship but wouldn't say why. She'd wanted to know if I'd ever done anything he'd found disturbing, which was such a strange word choice that it stuck with him. After 3 days of complete exile, I was losing my mind. I couldn't eat or sleep properly, and I'd called in sick to work because I couldn't focus on anything. These were the people I'd spent every weekend with for years, and now they acted like I was dangerous. Even seeing me at the door had made Stella nervous. Finally, Autumn agreed to meet me at a coffee shop, but only in public, and only for 5 minutes. She looked scared sitting across from me, which made no sense because we'd been friends since college. She said everyone had seen proof of what I'd done, and there was no coming back from it. When I asked what proof, she said the less I knew, the safer everyone would be. I begged her to just tell me what they thought I'd done so I could at least defend myself. She looked around the coffee shop like someone might be watching, and then pulled out her phone. She showed me a screenshot of a text that had been sent from my number at 3 a.m. after the party, but I'd been asleep by then. The message was just an address I didn't recognize and the words, "It's done." Below that was a photo I definitely hadn't taken. It was Stella's bedroom, which I'd been in 100 times, but the angle was from her closet looking out at her sleeping in bed. The timestamp showed 3:15 a.m. when I was home asleep in my own bed 20 minutes away. Full story on the channel below.